Today I want to talk about a personal Mandela effect. This isn't a Mandela effect that everybody remembers. It's not the Mr. Monopoly Man, it's not Britney with a mic, it's not even the most recent one that I've discovered, the Alice in Wonderland, Tweedledum and Tweedledee with the hats, because it's just boggling my mind right now. But this is an actual personal Mandela effect, and if you've got any, please let me know about them in the comments. I'm dying to hear some. A few months ago I experienced something that could be described as either shifting into another dimension or a timeline. It was brief, and when I came back I told my close friends. Obviously half of them thought I was crazy and half of them believed me, and that was totally fine. But since then I started noticing more and more personal Mandela effects. There's a bridge near where I live, and every time I was driving past it I kept saying, there used to be a building there, there used to be a building attached onto that bridge, and everybody kept telling me there's never been a building there. I said to my mum, no, there's never been a building there. So then somebody had posted a video online of the town that I live in, like back in the day, before I was born, possibly the 50s. And it showed you this bridge and there was a building there. And I was like, that's the building, that's that building. So then when I started asking about it, people said that was knocked down way before you were born. But I genuinely remembered that building being there. Every time I drove past it, I was like, what the hell happened to that building? A few weeks ago I was buying something online, as I always do. Now I know the last 3 digits on my cards, and both of them started with the same digit. So let's just say, for example, it was a 2. Always buying things online every single day. So I had went to buy something and it was rejecting my 3-digit code, and I was like, that's definitely the code. So I pulled the card out of my bag and looked at it, and it had changed from a 2 to a 3. And I was like, since when? Right, since when has that been a 3? And I know that you can just forget things, right? I know that you can get mixed up, and that's fine. So then I pulled out my other card, and one was a 2 and one was a 3. And I was like, I've literally had these cards for years. It's not a new card, it hasn't been replaced, it's not the wrong card I've pulled out. Both of these started with the same number and now they're different. So I says to one of my friends, and they were like, oh, maybe you've got a new card, maybe you just got mixed up. And I was like, right, fine, right, maybe I've just got mixed up, fine. So then, like a week or 2 ago, I was sitting watching YouTube and I was watching some Linkin Park videos, and one of the videos came on and I said, since when has this been the video for this song? But there was bits in the video that I remembered and bits that I didn't really remember, right? So I thought, right, this isn't one of my favourite songs. Maybe I've just not been paying attention at any time that video's been on. But there's similarities, and then there's other bits that I've just never seen before. So then another video came on, and it's definitely one that I've seen. I've seen it a million times. And I said, this video is not the same video, right? Then I thought maybe it's a fan-made one, maybe it's one that they've remastered, like they've just brought out a new video for it. And I looked it up and it had been on for years, so it wasn't new. And then I went onto my phone and I started looking up the videos to see if there was maybe 2 versions, or like sometimes they've got like different versions of videos. And it was just this one. And I was like, this has never been the video for this song. So this ended up happening with like 3 separate videos. And I was freaking out, right? So I went onto YouTube and I was like, right, I'll type in some Backstreet Boys videos because I know them. And they were all the same. So then that same night I went to order food on Just Eat. And this was my different card, right? So I went to type in the 3-digit code. And I was like, oh, that's not taking my 3-digit code. So I says to my friend who's also got my card details and they know my 3-digit code. And I says, what's the code for that? And they were like, oh, 234. And I says, right, it's 234 definitely. So then I was typing it in and it wasn't working, and I took my card out of my bag and it was like 334. And I says, that's never been the code. They knew the code, that's never been the code, right? So then I took the 2 cards out of my bag and both of them started with a 3. And I was like, right, what the hell, right? First of all, they started with a 2. Then they were different, now they both start with a 3. So obviously my pal's just like, whatever, like you just get mixed up or whatever, right? So then a couple of days later, I had put the Linkin Park videos back on, and they were just back to the videos that I remembered. So I was like, I literally don't understand what the hell's going on here, right? And it wasn't as if everything in the world was different. It was literally these videos. So I thought, right, okay, fine. Right, like I've just maybe clicked on something that I don't remember, even though I went through all my history. There was no explanation for this. So I pulled the 2 cards out my bag again, because I thought, right, this is it, right? The 2 of them, I've got the same number. This is it. I pulled them out my bag, and one was a 2 and one was a 3. And I'm thinking, this is something that I use. I use my card every single day online, basically. So that's something that I'm going to notice. But what else is happening around me that I'm not noticing? Like maybe just like subtle details. Like I'm not a very observant person as it is, right? Like my mum always slags me. Like my mum could literally, right, plant hundreds of new flowers in the garden, cut all the grass, paint the walls, paint the house outside, and I just walk in on my phone and I come in and my mum will go, oh, did you notice anything? And I'm like, no. Right, so I genuinely don't notice. And the only reason that I even notice my cards is because it's something that I use constantly and I've got it memorised. Now, obviously, I'm sounding like a crazy person here, and that is completely fine. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't talked about some of the other stuff that's happened. But I know that Mandela effects, like, they drive me crazy, as it is, right? But when it's a personal Mandela effect, it's just so insane. Because there is things that you can forget, even though I know for a fact that Mr. Monopoly had a monocle, right? But that's a different story altogether. But when it's something personal like this, no matter what you say to people, they'll just say, oh, you've just been mixed up, or you just can't remember. And it's like, no, I'm not going to get mixed up about this, right? Like, I'm not going to get mixed up about this. It's like having a daughter and then waking up the next day and you've got a son. And you're like, no, that wasn't what life was like. Genuinely, that is how well I know my 3-digit code on the back of my card. So, even though now I sound like a crazy person and I'm okay with that, let me know in the comments if you've got any personal Mandela effects. I need to know. And I had been talking to one of my friends lately who is into Mandela effects and stuff, and they were saying that online they were talking about this thing. It's like, is it the Hadron Collider it's called? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But a lot of people were speculating that they were getting all these Mandela effects, and then it turned out that this thing had been turned back on. And I'm not going to get into that in this video, but if you're interested in me making one, you can let me know in the comments. But obviously there's going to be a lot of videos about it already. But a lot of people think that because this has been switched on, it's causing all these Mandela effects. But the personal ones to me are just so insane. So, please let me know in the comments if you've experienced any of these lately. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Bye!